I'm often asked for advice when people are assembling pitch decks, especially to investors, about what to include, what sections to include, as well as what content. And I think these are the things that are incredibly important. First is communicating your vision. This might be a combination of both the mission and the vision of the company, but what do you actually want to set out to achieve in the long run? Number two is sharing your team. Ultimately, the business might be successful or unsuccessful because of the market opportunity, the product fit, but your ability as a management team and a leadership team to pivot and migrate the business model or the market opportunity or the customer segment so that you can actually find a viable business is incredibly important. And that comes down to how good the team is. Third is the market size and growth rate opportunity. Being able to communicate both the numerical size and expected growth rate of the market opportunity in terms of the revenue being generated for that particular segment, industry, or market is very important. Most investors, especially if it's a technology company, want to understand that the market is large and actually growing, and that you can take a small piece of that or participate in growing that market over time. Next is the strategy. The strategy is a goal, it's an approach, and it's a source of differentiation or competitive advantages. Have you outlined what your goals are very clearly and how you're going to get there? Having a strategy is important, it's just not your entire business plan. Next is understanding your product value proposition. Do you have a unique source of value in your business? How are you communicating that through your product? Is that actually solving a problem for the customers in the market that you're going after, whether they're businesses, enterprises, or individual consumers? Do you have an operating model? What's your operational approach? So if you're bringing product to market, do you have something unique about your supply chain that you're using to get your product to market? Are you bypassing a multi-touch model and going direct to consumers online? Whatever it might be, have you established a clear operating model, and do you understand how to communicate that in clear messaging, both on the marketing side and the operating side, to all your stakeholders? Next is understanding your profit and revenue model. There are three ways of typically making money in the world outside of financing activities. One is some sort of transaction, buying or selling a service. It could be a digital service, or it could be a physical product. One is a subscription. It could be a form of a membership to an ongoing source of value that you're receiving from that company. Or third could be some form of marketing revenue, which is affiliate marketing, often commercial deals that are driven through rev share agreements. It could be display advertising or some sort of revenue you're getting for inventory or space you make available, or some sort of lead gen where you're driving traffic or driving customers in the door for a particular small business, for example. But outside of financing activities, there are only three ways of making money. Understanding how one of those three ways or a tangent of one of those three ways is allowing you as a business to make money is incredibly important, even if that pivots over time. Next is understanding the competitive environment for both your segment of customers as well as your market. You might have three competitors in a different region, but they may not be applicable to you. So understanding your direct competitors, as well as some tangential competitors that could enter your market because they're well positioned, is also very important. The next point is the financial plan. You want to have an income statement, some expectations of your balance sheet, as well as cash flow expectations for your business, largely because you want to be able to understand what your capital requirements are. Once you understand the capital requirements of your company, you know how much seed capital or debt you need to raise to begin getting off the ground, whether you're putting in your own money or actually raising money from institutional investors or angels. It also gives you an idea of your working capital requirements to continue to operate your business so that you have a better idea of the levers you can use to reduce your cash burn over time on a monthly basis, and how much financial runway you have before you have to raise your next round of financing or before your cash flow break even and you can continue to grow the business without additional financing. So having some financial plan, although rough early on, is often something that investors overlook because they know the financial plan is going to change as the company evolves. It's important for you as the entrepreneur or the startup founder to be able to assemble something so you have a plan of action around the finances of the company so you can continue to make changes and improve the business over time. And finally, understanding the known risks with your business. Often they're idiosyncratic risks, essentially risks that we can't control. They could be force majeure events like acts of God, but we can't control those. But there are risks that we can control. They have to do with the quality of your product, how you're financing your company, the structure of your team, how nimble your decision making is, and how well you're actually competing relative to the other players that are offering a similar product in the marketplace for your target segment. So knowing the risks that you have on the table operationally as well as strategically and being able to address them with a mitigation strategy is very important. Those are all the key aspects that I would want to see in a pitch deck both as an investor, as an entrepreneur and a startup founder, the things that are actually important so that you can think through your business enough for yourself, write it down, and be able to operationalize it and be successful when you actually launch and grow that business.